So, real talk. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm in Montreal. Welcome. We've got the downtown behind us. And, you know, we're standing on this pier in the morning, and this is unreal. It's unreal. So what am I doing? Well, I left Boston 8 days ago. 6 of them in the saddle. Riding in the saddle is just a fancy way of saying I'm riding my bike. I guess I'm just on a bike ride. That's like what this is all about, right? And Montreal was the first major stop. I did a wonderful job putting everything together, leaving Boston. So you guys get absolutely no real documentation between Boston and Montreal. But hey, like, I know what I'm doing, right? So how did we get here? Well, we got here on my bike. I'm riding a touring rig that I built. It's got a traditional 4-pannier setup, or 4-pannier setup. I've got a backpack sitting on the back too. So there's 5 bags in total. I have no idea how much it weighs. I really don't want to know. You know what? I still don't want to know. I was gonna take a video of myself riding up this hill, but I can't even fucking do it without bags. So imagine the weight with bags. I didn't weigh it before I left. I don't want to know now after lugging it up all those hills and mountains. And yes, I climbed mountains, not just mountains, but real mountains. Real mountains, Gandalf. But, you know, I did 18,000 feet of elevation gain in 6 days. I biked 432 miles. That's about 675 kilometers for everybody else in the world. And you know what? I do know one thing, and that's we'll continue riding our bike here. So what exactly am I doing? Well, first of all, I have absolutely zero idea what I'm doing when it comes to taking video or sound design or photography at all. So if anything halfway decent comes out of this, we should all applaud. My bestie Sean, who is doing all of the editing, he's got the know-how to make this mishmash of sound bites and videos seem like potentially coherent storytelling. The idea of this trip is to do a massive 7,000-mile circuit around the country. I began in Boston on June 30th, rode north to Dover, New Hampshire, then on to Freedom. I overnighted in Freedom for 2 days before heading off to Franconia Notch. After camping out in Franconia, I rode into Vermont and camped in the Steam Mill Brook Wildlife Management Area, which really means I camped on the edge of an abandoned farm next to the forest because the foliage was way too dense to break through. From there, I biked up to Lake Carmi, and a last-minute change of plans that saved me about 1,000 feet in elevation gain, but added on about 15 miles, which was totally worth it. Then on July 7th, I rode on into Canada. Super easy. Since we find ourselves here and not in Boston, where you would have thought I would have began this video, let's chat about this city. For those of you who are unaware, Montreal sits in the St. Lawrence River Valley, which is sandwiched between the St. Lawrence and the Rivière des Prairies. The Ottawa River joins these two in a confluence of rivers just south of the city. There seems to be conflicting tales about the origin of the name Montreal. Much of the internet is telling me that it comes from a corruption of Mount Royal. Smash them together in French fast enough, and voila. Montreal, 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 Montreal. This is a city of 1.7 million people, which is about 3 Bostons or maybe 1/5 the size of New York City, which are 2 super obvious comparisons. Montreal has a booming tourist industry, and according to my in-depth Wikipedia research, it's an economic powerhouse second only to Toronto. It's extraordinarily important to Quebec as it represents a full third of the province's GDP. But let's be real, we're here for one thing in Montreal, and that's the food. I've eaten here, and here, and here, and here. indefinitely here. So I guess that just leaves the question of what's next, huh? You know, this has been an absolute ball in Montreal. I adore this city. I wish I had more time. 2 days is certainly not enough, but you know, when I was writing the script, I figured that future Jeffrey would worry about what's next, and you know, past Jeffrey should have known better. Future Jeffrey, today Jeffrey, has still, up until about 20 minutes ago, had no idea what he was doing, and then tomorrow, and then I was walking down to the pier here, and I ran into some guy. I told him what I was doing. We were talking for a few minutes, and he was like, "Oh my God, there's a greenway all the way down all of the Great Lakes. You should just take the bike trail." And I was like, "Oh my God, that is amazing! Look it up." Lo and behold, there is an extremely well maintained with hundreds of campsites all along the Great Lakes. So I guess tomorrow I'm just heading out of Montreal, picking up this bike trail, and heading down to Toronto. So it'll be 3 or 4 days to Toronto. I haven't decided. I'll probably break it up into 4. There's no reason to rush it, right? So yeah, stay tuned, and maybe I'll see y'all out there.